All right, so VW 2005 GTI 1.8t. I've done a lot of things to this car over the years. You can watch videos on it. I've done a full review of it. And recently I've been having some coolant issues. And so I found out that the oil cooler was leaking oil into the cooling system. And so what had been happening is that the coolant got all sludgy, and it was not good. Everything got completely full of sludge inside of the cooling system. So what I did was, over the past month, I ordered all new coolant hoses, and I ordered a new radiator, and so that's what this video is about. And I'll be back. Check it out. All right. So in theory, over the next coming days, I assume it'll take me some days. Maybe it'll just take me today, but I doubt it. I will be replacing the radiator, the hoses, all of the hoses, and flushing the whole system out, because the oil cooler, which is down here, let me show it to you, is theoretically, meaning I think it is, but we'll see, leaking and causing, it's right above the filter right here. So that square thing that it's hooked up to, that's the cooler. And it has, if we come up here, I think you can see, coming off the cooler there are the coolant lines that run through it. And what's happening is oil is leaking into those lines and causing us to have oil coming into the coolant system and heavily contaminating it, so that it ends up looking like paste. This is what it looks like. It looks really gross, and looks all syrupy and everything. But on the plus side, the oil, well, I guess I can pull off the dipstick. The oil itself is very clean and does not have any coolant in it. So what we're going to be doing is cleaning the whole coolant system out and replacing all the hoses, and hopefully that solves this particular issue. And then there's other maintenance that needs to be done to this motor. I believe what I'm thinking we need to do is we need to remove the valve cover. There's a little timing chain for the cams. It's actually a belt, timing belt on this side, but there's a little timing chain on this side with a tensioner that I believe needs to be replaced. So that's a whole project. But first we're going to start with this. So I got a radiator in, I've got hoses in. I'm probably going to be missing some things. But we got to start somewhere. And I haven't done any kind of major job on this car like this far. I've taken all the hoses off before and cleaned them all out, because when this first started, I didn't know what was going on. I took it to a shop in Austin and got them to look at it, and they wouldn't tell me exactly what was wrong. They did tell me my cooler was bad, but I ended up not going with them because they just honestly weren't that friendly. I would have just paid for them to do the work, to be honest with you, at the time. But now I'm just going to do it myself. All right, I am slowly working away on this. As you see, I've got the reservoir removed. I'm starting to get some hoses all removed. You can see how it's contaminated. And I'm starting to put this into a full service position, which means I'm going to have to remove all of these pieces so that I can get to the radiator. Gotta take the headlights off. Yeah, I definitely am undertaking something interesting. But the goal is to replace all the hoses, and then if there's any while I'm in theirs, I'm gonna do some while I'm in theirs. But it's coming along. I'm just taking my time. I haven't been working straight. I'll work on it a little bit. I had an order to take the oil cooler off. We need a 32 millimeter socket, and so I ordered one from AutoZone. I ordered some oil and some shop rags to be delivered today, and yeah, just going from there. We'll keep on checking in. I got to take these headlights off, so a lot of wiring that I need to unplug from what I saw from watching some YouTube videos and just following them. And I need to unplug the power. It's one thing I forgot to do. So so the engine doesn't accidentally turn on. That's why you unplug it. So yeah, we'll see where we head to next. All right, so it is officially hot. It's 5 p.m. I'm going to wait a couple hours and do some grading. As y'all know, I'm a professor as well, teaching a 100-person class. I got more than enough to do inside in the AC and still feel productive. But I have gotten the bumper cover removed. I got the bumper removed. And from what I've read, I need to remove this, and this on each side. And then I need to disconnect all the wiring for anything that's on this side, which I believe is down below here. And then at the very end, I take these connectors off, and then the whole thing will move forward in a very fun fashion, it seems like. And then there's some AC lines for the AC condenser that's up front right here. So I'm gonna have to be careful with those. And then unsandwich the radiator from it, pull it out, and then because I'm OCD, I will clean everything, look for anything that needs immediate replacement, and go from there. But I'm gonna work on that in a little bit. Like I said, it's just too hot right now. I'm in Texas in late July, early August, and if I were to work 4 or 5 hours straight, I'll just overheat and maybe get a heat stroke. So don't want to do that. Be able to keep making videos. So yeah, and I got the got that unplugged. So one other thing I did notice right before I stopped is that the intercooler could use some cleaning, the air-to-air intercooler for the turbo setup. So I'll probably also degrease that and clean it out, and go from there as well. All right, we got this thing in full maintenance mode. I think in service position, as they call it in VW Audi terms. So this is what they say is leaking. I got to pull all these hoses off. I've got new hoses. I'll go ahead and clean up all this area. I'm going to degrease it, and in general just inspect everything. I'll double check the thermostat. I did replace it a while ago, but I'm going to take it all apart because we're in here and just clean out all the extra coolant that has the oil in it. So all the lines I'm going to try and service. So we'll see how this goes. All right, I got the oil cooler off. I'm currently cleaning all this area up. It smells heavily like brake cleaner. See all the goop down there, but it is getting cleaner. You can see literally getting cleaned up. But yeah, this is the oil cooler, and it's definitely all gunked up and needs replacing. So hopefully that's what's wrong with it. All right, we got a train coming by, but I am currently just rinsing off the front of the engine bay, and I sprayed some degreaser. I use this Diablo wheel cleaner. It's a pretty good degreaser. And I'll go in and brush where I need to brush, but I've already brushed a little bit. But you can see there's some spots like over there that I'm gonna need to work on. So yeah, I mean, this is that while you're in there, I love having clean engine bays, and so this is just a really cool little opportunity for me. So there you go. All right, so I've come to a stopping point. I power washed all of the engine bay, and I've removed all of the hoses, so you can see all the way back there where I'm slowly getting that all cleaned out. I've rinsed it twice now. We also have the upper inlet that I'm also working on. So yeah, it's all slowly coming along, and I've got my hoses on order. The hoses I need are over here. So I have, let me make that wider. I have this hose, but I don't have these hoses, and I don't know. I feel like I should use new hoses, but we'll see. I'm also slowly, not gonna lie, I'm slowly getting the feeling that I don't think it's the, I mean, it might be this oil cooler leaking, but I really do think it's probably in the engine, and this is all for naught, but we'll see. Gotta stay hopeful. All right, so this is the new setup. I transferred over the plugs. This is the old one right here. As you can see, they match up nicely. And this one has the clip on it, which the new radiator will need this clip, so that's good. And like I said, I just transferred all these and this over. It came with these. So now that will go up into here. So the big, it'll connect here, 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 and here, and then to the radiator. So that's next. All right, so we are now about to put the radiator in, finally. And I've got this new lower hose installed. I took the thermostat housing out. The thermostat, I cleaned it all. I cleaned the inside of the engine out. I've got the new upper hoses installed. All of the coolant hoses are now, that I'm replacing, are now all replaced. There are some older hoses that I could replace, like this one and this one down here. But sorry, didn't mean to. Let me move the camera back. This one down here and this one, but I'm just not there yet. It's a lot of work, and I can reach these from the top without the front, so I gotta call it at some point. Like, I'm just a shade tree mechanic. If this doesn't fix it, I'll take it somewhere and get it fixed. But all of the hoses and everything are seem to be in good shape, and I flushed all the hoses up there. I did flush out, and I ran them through so that they'd run through the system and everything, and I cleaned them. I just didn't replace them. So, and last time I did talk about the heater core back there, which you can see with those hoses. I cleaned those out. So now it's just going back in reverse order and putting it all back together, and hopefully it all works. This has been mentally one of the most like weird experiences, because I am used to working on cars. I am not used to taking the whole front end off on a car to fix something, and it's so over the top that it hasn't really hit me. And at the same time, like, I know for mechanics that do this every day, they're like, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. I'm like, well, yeah, you do it every day. I go and talk to hundreds of people every day, like, and teach. It's like, that's my talent. This is right on the edge of my comfort zone. But I like getting there. I like going to my uncomfortable areas. You know, one day I hope to have time and a space to pull an engine out and just redo a whole build, but I'm just not there yet. So, yep, these are the reflections as I work through this whole system. I hope, you know, like little things in the back of my head, I hope the AC works. I hope it, they say you can just lean it like that, and just as long as you give it some support, it should be fine. I'm like, man, that's one expensive thing you can mess up. And as you can see, this is a new AC compressor. I had it replaced. I had another shop do it for me at the time. So yeah, let's slowly put this thing back together. Enough insights for me. All right, I've got the mounts reused. I'm putting them back on, and they were all in good shape. One of them was seized on the other one, and I got it off, and it was still in really good shape, so that was amazing. And so I'm about to put the fan and fan shroud back on and go from there. So yep, it's all coming together, and then we'll sandwich that back onto here, and then we'll sandwich that back onto here. Hopefully we just keep going and going. All right, so what I've done just now is I've mounted the radiator to the air conditioning radiator, and now what I got to do next is I got to put this onto this, which mounts through the literal mount. So that'll be something I'll have to make sure that these things are on and don't slide off. But let's see how this goes. All right, so I put the bumper back on, and I've been mounting the lights back up. They just have these little screws here, and then another set of screws here and here. So that's where I'm at right now. I know there's some screws that go there that I need to put in. And yeah, just gotta try and not forget anything, because if not, I have to take it all back apart. So going really slow, really slow. All right, I finally got this thing looking somewhat normal, put back together for the most part. This part's tough, figuring out how to get that all aligned, and I had to take it all back off and put it all back on. It still bulges a little in it, but it looked way worse before. I mean, obviously when you stand far back, at least for me, it's good enough. It's not like it's pinching anywhere. It doesn't, the line is uniform. It's just a weird kind of gap. Yeah, this one's not as uniform. You can see it pinching here a little bit more than over here, but let's make sure this thing works. I can always pull off the bumper again. It's not that hard. But yeah, it's been about 2 hours working on this. I got to put the coolant reservoir back, and I need to put oil in the engine, and of course coolant. Then we can see how it does. All right, got this buttoned up. I put some water in here just from the hose. I know I should be using distilled water, but I'm literally just gonna flush it right after. I already have the coolant and everything, but I just want to start with water in case there's just something that's wrong and it just starts spilling out, or something, there's some leak. We're just putting water on the ground, and it's no big deal. I put 5 quarts of oil in here. I'll top it off later. And hooked up the negative, so we should be good to test this. Let's see how this goes. All right, we're in the car. Let's see. car starts up. Let's come out here and just see what's going on. Kind of watch the water level is getting taken down. It's getting sucked up. So as soon as it goes to the low, we'll go ahead and put some more water in it. All right, I'll be back. It's getting sucked in. Yeah, added just a little bit of water to it, just to make sure it didn't go dry. We have to take it out, but like I said, I'm going to drain it. I'm just looking for leaks right now. I'll get underneath the car and kind of just see if we have any leaks. I don't see anything yet. We'll let it warm up and go from there. So I'm gonna check the AC here. So let's go ahead and check the air conditioning, see if it still works. Too bad. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, it's getting cold now. I'll let that run. Oh yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how that goes over the next couple of days. And then got a little gauge here so I can see what the water temp's at. So we're at 123. It should level out at 190. I don't feel like driving it yet. I think I'm just going to let it try and come up to temp. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, clear water turned into some residual oil, hopefully. We'll see. That's why I just put regular water in it. I'm draining it down here. Got a train coming, so it's gonna get loud. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll take this off again, clean it out, and I'll probably do this 5 or 6 times before I actually put the real coolant in. But I gotta head out for today. I don't have enough time, so I gotta stop now and get ready for the next thing I gotta do. All right, so it's nighttime. Just got back from San Antonio a while ago, and I just filled up with coolant, and I flushed the whole system out, and it's looking pretty clean. That's water in there that I've drained all out. So we're gonna run this, get it topped off, and then see how it does. The spigot on the bottom of the radiator hose was dripping a little bit, so I went and bought a cap and put a little cap on it. I'll probably have to just replace that, but I want to see how this thing does in general before we get that far. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Now I have the cap off of the thing. I know it's pressurized, but I just want to make sure it sucks in what it needs to suck in, which it just did. And I'm just going to put a little bit extra. Let's see how this goes. Oh, yeah, it's getting sucked in. Let's go ahead and put a little more. Alright, a little more. Okay. And we just put a little, I'm looking at the line, so a little more. There we go, it's just right above the line. So I'll go ahead and just, even the cap was clean, so that was a good sign compared to how this had been before. I've already topped off the oil. So yeah, and then I put, like I said, I put that little cap just on here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, right there. Put that little cap on it. And we'll see how this warms up and goes. All right, so I've driven about, what, 5.6 miles, and right now I've been sitting for about 2 minutes. It fluctuates between 193 and 200. I haven't checked the level, so probably what I'll do is I'll check it when I get out here in a second. And but it's staying consistent, as you can see here. We're not having an issue with that. So it's just a matter of getting it down just a little bit. I'm not sure if I have it too full or not enough. We'll see, but we're in the ballpark. And I got on it. I drove it with the AC all the way up. I drove it with the AC off. I drove on inclines and declines, and sat on an incline and sat on a decline, and just tried a little bit of everything to kind of just make sure it's in working order. I've probably been driving about 20 minutes. So we'll see how this goes tomorrow. Let's go ahead and shut this off, and we'll just see where it's at with I'll be back because I gotta turn the light on the camera. All right, so we've been sitting here for a second. I don't see any drops, so that's good. Let's pop the hood. By the way, like, just the latch working excites me. It's like right on par with where it's supposed to be. So we'll check it tomorrow morning and just see where it's at. Because, it needs to cool down. It's pressurized right now. It doesn't look too gooey, like in terms of what was going on before. I do see a little froth, which I assume there's going to be froth in here for a while. But it looks way cleaner than it's ever looked. I don't know if that says anything, but and then we'll look tomorrow to see if we get any drips down here. Oh, I see some water right there. I wonder if that's anything I need to look at, but it may also just be I think it, oh yeah, what it is it's from when I shined it. It's not water. Okay, cool. I can literally feel it on my fingers. Not that I'm paranoid at all after having done all of this work. I think it's looking so far. I mean, yeah, it smells okay. All right, well, let's last but not least look at the at that little spigot that I put the rubber. Oh yeah, that looks like it's working. Okay. So that's right here. Yeah, there's nothing wet. Nothing wet around it, and it would be burning my hand if it was. So that's good news. All right. Well, we'll check back in the morning. Give it a couple more drives, and go from there. All right, so I had copyrighted music playing right here, but it definitely still leaked, and I realized that the whole flange was leaking, and I was having all these issues. I was not happy. It was, oh my gosh, it was so demoralizing. But my next clips have good sound, so here we are. All right, so I am cleaning this out. I took the gasket out of it, and I took off this adapter for the plug and cleaned it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refill it with just water, not use coolant this time, and see what it looks like in the morning. So yeah. All right, so I had some issues with the lower radiator flange leaking a little bit. I don't know if it still is. I switched back to water, and we'll see down here if it's dripping, which I think it is. Let's see. I can't tell yet. No, I don't see any drips from it. Let me go ahead and stop, and I'll go ahead and put the okay, there's the flange. Let's see if I can do it with this hand. Oh, it's not leaking like it was. When I did that last time, a bunch of water leaked out. Though I do see, I think, is that water right there? No, that's not water. Nope. Okay, well, let's see how it does overnight, and we'll see if it still leaks. All right, so I just drove about 10 miles on the car with having cleaned the flange, and I'm not seeing any drips or issues with it. So we'll let it sit overnight and go from there. But you know, it was gunked up from all the flushing of that brown sludge, and I just sprayed it with brake cleaner and cleaned off the gaskets on both sides, and maybe it just needed that. Maybe it was just slipping through, but we'll find out tomorrow. All right, so the last issue I had was the flange leaking. This is the actual flange that was leaking. I ordered 2 different ones. This was a Beck. The other one I believe is a UGO, which is what I ended up putting on. The Beck was $7, the UGO was $3. I had both of them shipped because I just wanted to see what are the differences. Now, this Beck looks like superior. I mean, sorry, this Rain, this is the one that was on, looks superior. But I get the feeling that the material that this was made out of just, I don't know, it didn't quite work the way it should have. And then I also see that this just did not hold up the way it was supposed to. This with the seal, this seal didn't quite work out. I put, like I said, the UGO on, and it's, where are you? Oh, you're right there, yeah. And it's working flawlessly. So, so yeah, so that's where we're at with that. And I've driven about, I think 35 total miles, 20 miles with the new UGO, and it's working out nicely. It's been driving fine. I'll take it out today again, but I haven't had any other issues, so I'm super excited. And now you'll see my summary. So yeah, it's an adventure. All right, so we have gotten to the point where the car is running well. It's not leaking anymore. I have put coolant back in. It took so long that I had actually shot the summary already, and then it was, you know, like in the last part I showed how it was leaking, and then I put those flanges. I had to order some flanges, and the flanges came in. Between ordering the flanges and it leaking, I went through a whole slew of changing out the rubber grommets and doing all these different things to see if I could maybe fix it with the flange that was on there. And as you see, the flange was just totally different in terms of material. And I don't know what was going on there, but it didn't work from the get-go. It was defective, and buying the other flanges ended up being really beneficial. So that wasn't even what was wrong with the car, But that like sums up working on cars and why I have so much respect for mechanics and even shops, part shops where you're going to go and buy parts, is that there's so many variables, and it takes a lot to repair cars, and to be a good mechanic doesn't just take working on the car. It takes being able to talk to the customers, being able to do the books, being able to do like all these different things, which is why it's very rare to find a really good single person shop. They're out there, and I had one in Austin for a long time called KC Automotive, run by Lee, and I used him for 10-15 years, but he's retired, and finding another one is always something of a challenge. But they're out there, and that's why you see so many shops that have, they'll have a mechanic, they'll have a service writer, they have a parts department, they have, the manager, then you have the owner. And so when I go to work on my car, I'm not thinking I'm outsmarting some system. I just know it's just work. And there are people that do this every day, and then there are people like me that just do it when they're on summer term teaching classes, but have a little bit of time. And undertaking this was, it was overwhelming. It was super overwhelming. It was at times not fun at all, but I know that that's part of working on cars, even for some of the best mechanics that I've seen out there. And having done my research on my dissertation was on automotive culture, and so I studied street racing, road racing, drag racing, high-end automotive shops, and I've seen it at the highest of levels where you get frustrated. So doing this cooling system was not like a super invasive thing for a lot of mechanics, but for someone like me, it was big, and I learned a lot. And this journey was one that I won't forget. But I'm going to keep driving this thing. Next things are getting the top end taken care of, replacing chain tensioner, and then if that's all good and the engine is good as is, then I'll go ahead and add a clutch and probably a LSD. But we'll see. I got to save the money and make it happen. Got a train coming, so y'all take it easy, and I'll be back.